Hello, can you guys hear me? I hope everyone is doing well, and today we are going to present about Down syndrome, a learning disability. But before we go that far, I would like to introduce our group members. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nurlisa binti Muhammad Sufyan and my matrix number is 1919842.
Hi, my name is Nurul Ain Aisyah binti Muhammad Zamri with matric number 1919304. I am from Kuliah of Education, Guidance and Counseling.
Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Nurmisha Azmira binti Arsad and I'm from Section 2 for Educational Psychology.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Tengku Na'lia binti Engku Adenan with a matric number 1916100, student from Kuliah of Education, Guidance and Counseling.
In our presentation today, we will talk about the introduction, what is Down syndrome, and then we will follow up with interview content, the coping mechanism, impacts of Down syndrome, Islamic perspective and learning disability, and a conclusion to conclude what we have learned throughout this presentation. Hello everyone, my name is Lisa and today I will be your first presenter for this presentation and I would like to introduce to you what is Down syndrome. John Langdon Down, he was the founder of this genetic disorder. He was born in England, lived from 28 November 1828 to 7 October 1896. He died at the age of 67. He was the founder of this syndrome and named it after his name, which is now called Down syndrome. Down syndrome can commonly be found among women who gave birth at an old age. However, current study has stated that the number of Down syndrome children are contributed among women below 35 years old by 80%. There are three types of Down syndrome. The first one is trisomy 21, the second one is translocation, and the third one is mosaicism. How did Down syndrome happen? This is actually caused by an error during cell division, which is called non-disjunction process. So, what is non-disjunction process? I will further explain it on the next slide. First of all, let us start with trisomy 21. This type of Down syndrome is the most common that we may find in our society. It happens 95% out of all Down syndrome cases. The main reason behind trisomy 21 is caused by failure in cell division, which is chromosome 21. Because the failure of separation in cell, it has caused the entire body to receive the same data or information from the chromosome 21 and it is spread throughout the entire body. Here I have included how the process actually happens in trisomy 21. The failure in cell division has caused the entire body to receive the same data or information. Hence, the occurrence of this genetic disorder, which is trisomy 21. The second one to be explained will be translocation. It only occurs 4% out of all cases. The appearance of this second type of Down syndrome is caused by separation of full or partial chromosome 21 and is attached to another chromosome, which commonly happen at the chromosome 14. As you can see in the picture, there is a missing piece in chromosome 21, which is now attached at chromosome 14. This has caused the appearance of translocation Down syndrome in infant. And last but not least, the most rare case that we can find in Down syndrome, which is mosaicism. In this type, only some part receive extra chromosome and the rest remain the same as usual. Down syndrome children with mosaicism has the least trait of Down syndrome and they may appear like the normal children. And here is the picture of how mosaic cell division happens. It only includes some parts of the cell and the rest remain the same. Moving on to the next part of this presentation, which is symptoms of Down syndrome. In this part, it is divided into two, which is the physical symptom and the health symptom. Before I explain the part of physical symptoms of Down syndrome children, I think we should take a look of their picture. Here you go, a picture of Down syndrome children. They are very beautiful and unique in their own way. For the physical symptoms, we can clearly tell that they are Down syndrome children because they have the same physical features for all of them. First of all, they have slanted eyes, flat nose, bridge, protruding mouth and white tongue, and small chin. Because of their facial features, John Lennon Down has described them as Mongoloids because they look like Mongolian people. Next, for the physical features, they appear to be someone with a plump body size, small toes and fingers, including their abnormal fingerprint. From my experience, I really like being around Down syndrome people because they are very friendly and they will listen to every story you tell them. Okay, the next one, apart from the physical symptoms, there are health symptoms of Down syndrome children. The common health symptoms found in Down syndrome people are mainly caused by their hearing and sight, and also including weak neuromuscular tone. They have some implication in hearing and seeing things, so they will need some help with the aids to help them do things better. On a serious note, without early intervention of their health symptoms, they might develop cervical spine instability or gastrointestinal. The parents or the caregiver of Down syndrome children should be alert and aware of their health condition to help preventing them from being sick and allow them to live healthily. Healthy body and happy me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Ain Aisyah. I would like to present our interview session with the Director of Academic Affairs at Al-Ghazali Special Kids Care Center. Al-Ghazali Special Kids Care Center, or AGS, take care of children with various learning disability such as Down syndrome, autism, dyslexia and such, but mainly focuses on dyslexic and autistic children.
Saya Puan Nur Azura binti Muhammad Ghazali, pengarah Hal Akademik Al-Ghazali Group Sembilan Berhad.
What are your views on children with learning disabilities?
Bagi pandangan saya, diorang ni bukan anak-anak yang bermasalah yang tak boleh kita ubah. Mungkin masyarakat luar faham anak-anak dyslexia ni macam satu penyakit yang diorang terima. Tak, dia bukan penyakit tapi dia cuma masalah yang mana kita boleh bantu dengan cara sistem pembelajaran yang berbeza berbanding dengan anak-anak yang normal. So dia punya cara pembelajaran more fun learning, tak terlalu stres, tak terlalu kepada buku, banyak kepada interesting learning lah.
What are the common symptoms of children with learning disabilities?
Masalah pembelajaran yang mana anak-anak tak boleh menguasai 3M. Apa tu 3M? 3M tu membaca, mengira, menulis. Dan ada lagi lah menakut, mendengar, sebagainya. Cumanya untuk anak-anak berkeluhan khas ni dia more kepada 3M tu. Dia membaca, menulis, mengira.
What are your roles and function as a teacher?
Untuk peranan seorang guru, first kali apa yang kita terapkan dalam diri seorang cikgu yang AGS amalkan, dan benda ni telah dibina sendiri oleh pengasas kita iaitu Tuan Hafiz bin Hussein, kita punya director lah. Dia sentiasa nasihatkan cikgu untuk menjadi seorang cikgu kepada anak-anak keperluan khas ni kita perlu ada 3 benda iaitu CSI. Apa tu CSI? Cinta, sayang, ikhlas. So kalau kita cintakan pekerjaan kita akan rasa sayang pada anak-anak dan juga untuk kita menyampaikan ilmu tu pun kita akan rasa ikhlas. So mungkin cikgu-cikgu di LGS dan juga cikgu di luar mungkin ada perbezaan dari segi itu. Sebab anak-anak keperluan khas ni kita perlu banyak sabar tau. Diorang tak macam anak-anak yang dekat luar yang mana senang je nak ajar, boleh dengar arahan, boleh buat apa yang kita suruh. Tapi untuk anak-anak keperluan khas kita perlu sabar, perlu orang kata tersenyum je. Walaupun dalam hakikatnya susahnya nak ajar diorang ni macam tu.
What teaching methods are used for children with special needs?
Anak-anak keperluan khas ni dia bukan more kepada orang kata on paper, on book, bukan fokus pada situ. Saya cakap dekat sini LGS cara pembelajarannya adalah fun learning yang mana kita akan guna BBM, kita akan guna mungkin dalam bentuk gadget yang mana kita boleh bagi muzik yang terselitnya pembelajaran. So dari situ anak-anak boleh ikut sebab anak-anak keperluan khas contohnya disebut autism ni dia suka dengan muzik. So kita bagikan learning tu dalam bentuk muzik. Contoh nak belajar bunyi fonik kan. So if parents boleh untuk permulaan boleh perkenalkan dalam bentuk lagu. Okay, contoh ada satu link satu kat YouTube tu Abu Ada Ayam dengan tajuk
Abu ada ayam Abu ada ayam Abu ada ayam
Dari situlah anak-anak rasa wah seronok kan muzik, sambil dengan muzik dia boleh belajar.
What are the typical issues handled during the class session?
Untuk disleksia, mungkin cabaran dia adalah mungkin anak ada short term memory. Dia bukan saja tak boleh menulis, mengira dan mengeja, tapi dia juga ada short term memory. Itu sangat-sangat sukar untuk cikgu di LGS sebab anak short term memory ni dia sekejap je boleh ingat. Paling-paling boleh ingat pun mungkin dalam 5 minit and then dia akan lupa. Untuk anak autism, autism ni dia punya cabang besar. Anak autism ada yang tantrum, ada yang kata menangis tak tentu pasal, tapi itu pun untuk di LGS di bahagian learning kita boleh handle sebab diorang boleh belajar. Dah orang kata autism yang high function yang boleh dengar arahan yang dah improve. So tak ada masalah untuk handle behavior dia.
Are there any skills and techniques that could be helpful in helping the children?
So untuk orang kata atasi benda ni, cikgu-cikgu perlu tegas. Itu je dia punya syarat, kena tegas. Sebab anak-anak yang macam ni dia jadi ketua. Dia tak nak di bawah daripada kita. So kita sebagai cikgu kena tegas, kena garang sikit lah. Dan juga dalam pembelajaran tu kena balance. Ada tegas, ada orang kata mesra. Kena pandai ambil mood anak-anak.
How important are the roles of society?
Okay. Untuk di LGS, kami sangat-sangat bonding dengan parents. Jadi, apa yang kami apply di kelas, ibu bapa juga perlu apply di rumah. Okay, bagaimana contoh, macam mana cara untuk kita bantu parent untuk bantu anak dekat rumah. Okay, dengan kita punya pembelajaran dekat kelas, kita akan kongsi bersama parent menggunakan video. Okay, so masyarakat luar pun mungkin masyarakat yang tak ada anak-anak yang bermasalah macam ni, bagi diorang rasa macam bila jumpa dengan anak-anak macam ni macam diorang ni susah lah nak ajar semua. So untuk parent yang ada anak macam ni, diorang akan rasa macam sangat-sangat perlukan bantuan. So kita sebagai cikgu perlu bantu orang luar dan juga parent yang ada anak macam ni untuk memudahkan pembelajaran ni bersambungan. Bukan hanya di kelas, tapi di rumah pun perlu diterapkan juga, perlu apply. Kalau tidak, anak-anak akan dapat ilmu tu, orang kata dapat cara tu hanya di sekolah je. Bila kat rumah dia lupa. So kita tak nak. So masyarakat memang patut untuk belajar bagaimana cara nak menyampaikan pembelajaran tu dengan cara yang betul.
Does the awareness about special needs education in our society has reached a satisfactory level?
Waktu zaman saya akui saya sendiri pun tak tahu masalah anak-anak yang macam ni. Orang fikir, diorang ni, sorry to say lah, diorang ni macam lembab, bodoh. Tapi sebenarnya diorang bukanlah orang kata kategori yang macam tu. Diorang cuma tak dapat cara yang betul. Zaman dulu, zaman kita tak tahu pun istilah dyslexia atau apa. Yang kita tahu, budak-budak macam ni akan duduk kat kelas bawah. Macam tu. Tapi zaman sekarang, parents pun sebenarnya dah aware dah. Even umur 3 tahun pun parent akan cari tempat-tempat yang mana center-center yang dah orang kata mula mengajak anak-anak berumur 3 tahun untuk membaca, menulis. So bagi saya masyarakat sekarang ni pun sebenarnya dah sedar, dah buka mata untuk tindakan awal sebelum anak-anak tu didiagnose ada masalah autism ke ataupun dyslexia. So bagi saya buat zaman yang orang kata teknologi yang makin moden ni, macam-macam cara kita boleh terapkan. Lepas tu dengan orang kata banyaklah pusat-pusat yang menyediakan tempat-tempat anak-anak.
Now I will explain to you what is the impacts of Down syndrome. 3 impacts of Down syndrome which we can commonly find in them is communication impairment, like motor skills, and problems in working memory. Down syndrome children has communication impairment. They are unable to speak as fluent as normal children, which is caused by the language and speech impairment. Plus, the lack receptive vocabulary has only allowed them to understand certain words and convey their messages in short words such as yes, no, or probably just something simple so that they can decide what they actually want. Unfortunately, children with Down syndrome also lack in motor skills. Motor skills can be divided into 2, which is fine motor and gross motor. For normal children, at the age of 1 or 2, they can start grabbing things. Meanwhile, for children with Down syndrome, they appear to have this problem and fine motor until they are at the age of a toddler. Children with Down syndrome are unable to point out any specific fingers or even do hand gripping on certain objects. Not being able to do any fine motor skills will lead them to have difficulty in controlling the gross motor. The motor skills begins from fine motor and it leads to a bigger process which includes the gross motor. Before beginning an activity that includes the gross motor such as running, children should be able to control their body parts. Unfortunately for Down syndrome children, since they have difficulty to develop fine motor, thus it might cause them even more difficulty to handle gross motor skills. I believe with the help and encouragement from people around them, such as the family, physiology, it will allow them to develop it slowly and improve their motor skills from time to time. Down syndrome people also have the impairment in working memory. Remembering any information could be a problem to them because they have short attention span and distractibility. Since they are unable to focus, the memory that they receive will only be temporary and it will be gone in the short term. Moreover, Down syndrome people are associated with Alzheimer's disease by the age of early 30s. Hence, the working memory of Down syndrome people can also be included in health implications faced by them.
I will explain about coping mechanisms for Down syndrome children to learn better. For the first step, teaching reading to students with Down syndrome should be characterized by a strong emphasis on visual learning. Down syndrome students are strong visual learners. They understand what they see better than what they hear. Teachers should use visual aid in conducting teaching and learning. The student will enjoy this vibe of learning, and this will encourage more participation of students to answer and ask questions. In this modern era, there are many interesting applications of teaching and learning based, such as Nearpod. Therefore, teachers should grab this opportunity to explore more this application to enhance teaching methods for Down syndrome students. With Nearpod, teachers can make every lesson interactive with collaborative, engaging activities like virtual reality simulation and gamified quizzes. Teachers can upload any of their favorite resources like PPT, Google Slides, and videos from YouTube, then add in media and formative assessment in a few clicks. Teacher can choose from 3 teaching modes. In live participation mode, teacher can control the pace and student participation. With front of class mode, teachers can present the slide and facilitate collaborative discussion. Down syndrome students will love lessons that combine engaging media. For the second step, teachers should be aware of sensory processing disorder when examining and reacting to the class behavior of the student with Down syndrome. Sensory activity is important for the student with sensory processing disorder or SPD, as they avoid eye contact with people and objects, lack control of eye movement, and unaware of being touched or bumped. Also, do not sit still. Instead of theoretical way of teaching what surface or texture a certain object is and the taste of the substance, the teachers are required to be more creative to grab their attention by using balloons and load them with things that have different texture. The student need to guess what inside of the balloon and say it out loud what texture it feels. Moreover, put a little bit on top of the student's tongue of each taste. For example, like lemon to stimulate sour taste. These activities will stimulate student senses in order to gradually improve. This is example of sensory play, which is touch sensory and taste sensory.
Okey, hari ni cikgu nak buat aktiviti sensory. Cikgu nak awak teka apa dalam belon tu. Ni pasir kan cikgu? Betul, pandai. Ini pula saya sejam. Yang ni tak ada apa-apa cikgu. Mesti tahu, ni air. Betul. Yang ni saya rasa mochi. Yeay, pandai.
Now night. Cheese.
No, it's mayonnaise.
Cheese.
Oi, wait. This one. What is it?
Coffee.
Oi, wait.
Third step is mathematics skill. It is not impossible to teach Down syndrome students mathematics. As we all know, mathematics skills are essential for everyone. Learning mathematical concept will motivate students with Down syndrome to apply these skills to different situations, which is not demonstrated in the classroom. Teachers should speak directly to them using clear language, short sentences. Moreover, allow adequate time for them to process what you have said and respond. learning mathematics is a matter of practice that makes perfect. So teachers should explain with a clear voice and short sentences each time the concept of math, and practicing the same question over and over again to help them understand. Teachers should use pictures, diagram and chart to help them understand the concept. Therefore, it is important to Down syndrome to learn and know numbers, as they can memorize the contact numbers of their parents when in dangerous situation.
Next, I'll continue with Down syndrome from Islamic perspective. In here, I'll elaborate on how Islam views disability, the rights of the disabled people, and fatwas about the abortions of disability pregnancy. So first of all, Islam. Islam is considered one of the world's three major religions. The word Islam denotes obedience to the will of God. Muslims believe that by obeying the rules and commands of Allah, one should surrender to the will of God and commandments of Allah. As the sixth pillar of Iman, which is to believe in Allah Qadar and Qadar, human beings should accept everything that happened or has been granted to them with faith and belief that He knows best. I'll elaborate on how Islam views disability. Allah SWT says in Surah Al-Hujurat verse 13, O mankind, indeed we have created you from male and female and made you peoples and tribes that you may know one another. Human beings are all equal in the eyes of Allah. The only thing that makes one better than the other is Allah's consciousness of the persons, which is the taqwa, and Allah constantly tests us in order to establish and sustain the taqwa. Tests, therefore, are not punishments of Allah, as Sahih al-Bukhari, Hadith 7.548, narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Messenger of Allah SWT said, if Allah wants to do good to somebody, He afflicts him with trials. According to Islam, the integration of disabled people into society is vital in terms of their emotional and mental well-being. It helps us to have empathy and a sense of caring for each other, for effective integration, and to treat disabled people as a part of our community. Islam therefore gives them rights by helping them with their needs. In Islam too, disabled people have the right to be respected based on Surah Al-Hujurat verse 11, and they should enjoy social justice. They are to be provided with basic needs such as food and clothes. Meanwhile, based on Surah An-Nur verse 61, it is also mentioned that they may receive treatment and rehabilitation. Disabled persons in a country where parts of the zakat may be received and some religious obligations may be entirely reduced or waived because of their disability. At the same time, helping the disabled to fulfill their duties is supported by our beautiful religion. They have to be included as a full participant in the life of the family, attend holiday festive, receive proper Islamic education, national education, and even be able to marry. Marriage, pregnancies, and marriage are related to one another. I'll explain about pregnancies and the disabled. It is compulsory to believe in God provisions in Islam. Thus, if the mother is pregnant with a disability child, there are a few things to look at before the mother can abort the child. According to Al-Matari 2014, abortions in Islam, as in most religions, is prohibited. Islam is considerably liberal regarding abortion, which relies on three things. The first one is the possibility of harm to mothers. The second one, the pregnancy status or after enclosure, which is is on the 120th day of gestation, and the third one is the existence of life-incompatible fetal abnormalities. There are significant differences in religious edicts, but most Islamic scholars accept that the termination of pregnancy for fetal anomalies is permitted because before ensoulment, after which abortion, except in the presence of fetal abnormalities, is absolutely prohibited. The exception is a danger to the life of the mother or confirmed intrauterine death, as according to fatwas as well. Scholars have unanimously agreed that it is permissible and completely prohibited to conduct an abortion if the age of the fetus has reached 120 days. This is because it is considered killing a soul which Allah has forbidden except by right. Allah says in the Holy Quran in Surah Al-An'am verse 151, "And do not kill your children out of poverty. We will provide for you and them." Meanwhile, in Surah Al-Isra verse 33, Allah says, "And do not kill the soul which Allah has forbidden except by right." Otherwise, if the fetus has not reached 120 days within the womb of its mother, scholars have disagreed on the permissibility of abortions. Some of them found abortions prohibited, and this is the view of the Malikis, Zahiris, and some other Shafi'is relied on. Other scholars argued that abortion was completely disliked, and this is the view of some Hanafis, Malikis, and the Shafi'is likely view. Other scholars considered abortions permissible only if there is an excuse that calls for it. Thus, it is permissible in Islamic laws to have abortions before 120 days of pregnancy if the physicians or doctors determine the presence of fetal deformity. Moreover, there is no objections in Islamic law to conducting the necessary tests to check for such incurable diseases and congenital defects. So, in conclusion, Islam never looked at disability as a punishment or deficiency. The chosen one should always believe in the rewards that Allah has set for them, and they should be treated fairly like others. Some even should be given extra privilege to ensure they live a good life as well. They should not be neglected or excluded from the society or any events. In the context of marriage, the disabled are allowed to marry and to have children of their own. For women who are pregnant with disabled fetus, they are prohibited to do abortion, especially when the fetus has reached 120 days within the womb of its mother. However, if the mother has any of these three mentioned issues, then only the mother can do abortion, which is the first one is the possibility of harm to mothers, the pregnancy status before or after enclosure, which is on the 120 day of gestation, and the third one is the existence of life incompatible fetal abnormalities. Then it can be considered to do abortions. So I guess that's all from me. Thank you.
In conclusion, Down syndrome children should be appreciated and loved as much as normal people receive. They should not be looked down upon. Instead, we as people without any disability should be assistant to the Down syndrome and help them to learn and grow. The society needs to open their arms and welcome disabled people rather than close the doors on them. Sometimes these people will be more successful than normal people. The support system from teachers, parents, and society is very important to give them strength to overcome their problems. Positive reinforcement should be used for students with Down syndrome to boost their self-esteem and positive learning experience. This should be done both at school and home. The teachers should have strong bond with parents whenever they apply something new to the student. Parents also have to apply that at home. If the parents didn't apply, then their children will never improve. Moreover, higher authorities like the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Health must unite in order to enhance the education system by making policies that benefit Down syndrome children. The media also play an important role to spread awareness to society. The media is a big influence in forming awareness, as it provides a lot of a model of aspiration, and everyone use social media to gain information, and indirectly this awareness will reach them.